Hello guys, today I want to cover this problem. This is a problem from AP Calculus BC last year's exam. It's section 2, part B, problem number 3. And let's begin. So the first question asks us to find the value of the function in x equals 0 and x equals 5. And as we know, f of x is equal to the integral of the derivative, right? Because this is the graph of the derivative of this function plus some constant c. And we can calculate, let's start with 5. Since we know f of 4 is equal to 3, we can just say that f of 5 is equal to f of 4 plus the integral of from 5 to 4 of the derivative. And what, right? The integral basically is the area under the graph, and if we look closely, it's just right triangle, and we need to find a height because we know this side is equal to 1. We need to find another side of this right triangle, and we can use the fact that this point have coordinates of 4 and 0, and this point have coordinates 6 and 2. So this point have coordinates of 5 and 1. So this side is equal to 1, and then f of 5 is equal to f of 4 is 3, and this integral would be just area of this right triangle, which is 1/2 multiplied by two sides of this triangle that are equal to 1, and we're gonna get 3 and 1/2, which is equal to 7/2. And for f of 0, we can do the same thing. So it's f of 4 plus the integral from 0 to 4 of this function. And as you can see, this is a semicircle, right, with the radius of 2. So the area of this semicircle would be I r squared divided by 2, and then pi times 2 squared divided by 2, which is 2 pi. But because it's below y, it's below x-axis, right? We need to subtract. So the integral would be equal to minus 2 pi, and it's gonna give us f of 0 is equal to 3 minus 2 pi. For the next part, we need to find all points of inflection. So if we could, theoretically, if we could differentiate this function again, points of inflection, it's where the double derivative of this function is equal to 0, or basically the sign of the derivative is changing in this point. So for example, if function was decreasing on the left hand side, it increases on the right hand side, or vice versa, right? So we just need, but we can't just say that f the double derivative of this function is equal to 0 and find these points, because we can't differentiate this function because we don't know what this function it is. We know only the graph of the derivative, right? So by looking at the graph, we just need to find points where the derivative was, for example, decreasing and then it was increasing, or was increasing and then it was decreasing, right? And there are only 2 points in x equals 2 and x equals 6 that are gonna give us our answer for this part. For the next part, we have a function g of x, which is equal to f of x minus x, and we need to find where the function g is decreasing. So what they are asking for is find x such that derivative of this function less than 0. Right, we can differentiate this function to look like a derivative of f of x minus the derivative of x. It's gonna give us f of x minus 1. And we need to solve this inequality. F of derivative of f of x is less than 1. And we can look at our graph. Let's use different color. And the derivative is greater than 1 only in this area. X from 5 to 7, and for other part is less than 1. So our answer would be x is bigger or equal to 0 and less than 5, because at x equals 5 it's not decreasing, it's a local minimum point, right? Because the derivative of this function was with minus sign and then it becomes with plus sign, right? So, and for the last part, we need to find the absolute minimum value. And as I said earlier, minimum value of this function, it's when g of x is equal to 0 and when from the left hand side it was decreasing and from the right hand side of this point it's increasing. And on this graph we have only not on this graph, but we have only 1 point because it's when x equals 5, right? So we just need to find g of x when x equals 5, so it's just g of 5, which is equal to f of 5 minus 5, and we know f of 5 from the first part. It's equal to 7 divided by 2. So what we would have is 7 divided by 2 minus 5. It's us minus 3 divided by 2. And that's it for this question. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you next time.